Hello, everyone, and welcome to Benchwarmer Conversations. I'm Micah Moyer. This is my associate, Joshua Stone. Today, we look to dive into the great 2023 first round of the NFL Draft and also talk about the NBA playoffs.
The draft was interesting, that's for sure.
It was,
Um,
it was something.
as a non Will Levis fan, I was very happy to see him fall. I'm sure he's a great guy. I'm not saying that, but as a player, I am not a fan of him. I think he's definitely. I think he's day two, day three, possibly down, not day one. That's
Yeah. He's got a mayonnaise issue, too.
yeah, and then he eats
Off-the-field
bananas with a
concerns.
peel.
Yeah, that's nasty. Hey, I'm not one to
That's
judge,
an
but I kind of got to judge that. My gosh.
that's enough for me to be no.
Yeah, that's a very big red flag, I'd say.
Agreed. Have you ever
Hmm.
seen Draft Day with NFL?
Like the movie?
Yeah,
I haven't seen it, but I've seen it all over my TikTok page right now, so I've kind of seen it. It
there's
looks
a
like it looks like a football version of Moneyball almost.
basically it's not nearly as good, but
Yeah.
there's a quarterback who's supposed to go number one. I think his name's Bo Callahan,
Hmm.
and there were just a lot of things, and like the biggest thing that they had was he's the type of guy that nobody would show up to his birthday party, and that's why they didn't draft him first overall. Will Levis must be that type of guy, or it's
He
just the
must be.
Mayo. The Mayo
Yeah.
makes him not that guy.
Well, because like apparently earlier this week he told people like the Panthers were talking to him, and I think the bets on him going number one overall went crazy. Yeah, and then he didn't get drafted in the first round at all. So
Yeah, I mean, I was the Panthers were never one that I thought would. Now, when they said that Bryce Young's family before said that they hadn't heard from the Panthers since like I think it was April 11th. Like
hmm
I was shocked. I'm like, I don't know if you do that to your pick. So I'm like,
yeah,
maybe Stroud might be getting picked here. I never even then I was like, I still think Bryce Young's going to get picked. I don't know why they wouldn't. Um,
hmm
but then when number two rolled around, I'm like, it's not going to be Stroud because I saw the whole controversy about Texans. Texas wanted an edge rusher, which they got with the third pick, but I mean they didn't
yeah,
have that at the time. And then it was a whole thing about Stroud's got Deshaun Watson's agents, and it was a big deal for their front office, is what it seemed like. But uh, I mean, I think it's a good thing they overlooked it. I don't think that's I don't know. I don't think you can judge a player by his agent from another
yeah.
just kind of wacky player, unless it's like
That's a
a
stretch.
yeah, unless it's an agent that continues to have guys like that. But I don't know. I think Stroud was the best pick at two as well. I That's where I could have saw Levis falling, but
Hmm.
after that, I think the Colts were done with non-athletic quarterbacks too. So
Yeah. Um, I wasn't surprised by Panthers taking Bryce Young. But yeah, I think the Texans pick was probably the most interesting, at least in the first like top 10 probably, just because of the uncertainty. Like, are they gonna take defense? Which quarterback are they gonna take? Are they gonna take a quarterback? So I thought that was crazy, and then they ended up taking Stroud, which I love Stroud obviously, so good for him. I'll be cheering for the neighbors in the state of Texas. But yes. Um, but I still, do you know what the Texans gave up to get that third pick?
I think they gave up their 11th, possibly a second,
Okay.
their first next year, and then a fourth next year.
Okay.
So they
Gotcha.
gave
Thank
up a
you.
lot, but
Yeah.
I think it was something like that. I know they gave up their first next year,
Okay.
either second or third this year, I think, and then a later round pick next year. So it was a lot, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't
Well,
think it was a bad trade at all.
no, I like it. You got to be gutsy, and they definitely did that. And I mean, that's crazy, man. They got number two and number three, and they just said, you know what? We're just gonna get our quarterback and our defensive player. We're just gonna do that. And
Mhm.
that's quite a move, very risky, but I don't know. I think Will Anderson's really good, despite where he's from, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it's still, he's still really good. Um, but yeah, I was like, what what the heck is going on? That was quite surprising. And I don't know what the
Mhm.
Cardinals were doing because they drafted back and then they drafted up and then they drafted Paris Johnson Jr., who's great. Might have been a bit of a stretch there, but I'm no expert. And then I like the Colts. Yeah, taking Anthony Richardson. I think I love Stroud, but Richardson could have the highest ceiling, I'd say. Quite literally, actually. He did you see the clip of him hitting the ceiling at the Florida Pro Day?
I oh yeah, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, so he has a pretty high
bang
ceiling.
on.
Um, so yeah, I'm interested to see what the Colts look like with him because like you said, they're not really used to athletic quarterbacks, so it's gonna be interesting to see Anthony Richardson at the Colts quarterback position. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited for it.
The quarterback not worried about their retirement plan coming up either. But
Yeah,
yeah, I will say too the what was I think the third pick it was pretty certain that was going to be traded. But I thought it was going to go to the Titans. I really did, and I
yeah,
was like I don't, you know, the Texans they had Deshaun Watson. They can obviously develop quarterbacks, but at the same time they're the Texans. So it's like I don't know if I want Stroud going there. But I definitely didn't want him going to the Titans. I mean, they got
mm,
I don't know. They have not been able to develop a quarterback. And I mean, Tannehill has been he's been pretty good. As a Titan, everybody thought that would be kind of a mistake, but I think that's only been helped by Derrick Henry opening up the run game, and that opens up the pass game with that. Because I mean, Tannehill's not going out there expected to throw 250, 300 yards a game,
yeah,
and I mean, Stroud would be thrown into that offense with that being the hope. And because I assume they're going to trade Derrick Henry. I was shocked they didn't last night. I was waiting for that all night. Same thing with DeAndre
I was
Hopkins.
too. Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, he's going to have to go into that offense. If he did go to the Titans, he'd have to go to that offense doing a lot. And who's their best wide receiver? Traylon Burks.
I guess. Yeah,
They just don't have any threats. They need to trade Henry and they need to start rebuilding. So I was happy Stroud didn't go to fall to three and go to the Titans, but
yeah. I
yeah, I
agree.
mean
Yeah, that could have been
maybe the
rough.
Titans would have taken that pick if Stroud didn't fall, but
Hmm.
Texans decided instead. So it
Yep.
was that was pretty shocking. And then Paris Johnson. Uh, I thought they could get him a little bit later, but they're saying that the Raiders had interest in him too,
Mm,
which I didn't really understand that one. But Raiders have a lot of issues uh, other than O line, in my opinion. I think
yeah.
Raiders just kind of need to hit the reboot button. They're
Hmm.
rough, but yeah, I was shocked about that too.
Yeah. I thought it was a pretty wild first round this year. Yeah. And I'll get to I might as well just address the elephant in the room, which is the Philadelphia Eagles. I am mad at like basically every team in the NFL for letting this happen. I'm mad at the Bears for some reason. I guess the Eagles traded up because they were afraid someone else would trade up to nine, which I guess that's just smart management. I give Howie Roseman credit. I wish we had a general manager on the Cowboys half as good as him. Um, oh wait, yeah, that's right. Our owner is our general manager. Yeah, we do that here. That makes sense. Perfect. Um, but yeah, I obviously has a off the field concern, which is why I fell that low. But assuming everything goes well there, my gosh, Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, and they got Nolan late in the first round. That's not good. That's not good. Because I was excited over free agency because they lost a few players, but dang, they got better. I think they really might have gotten even better. So yeah, our
Pulled
offensive
out
line is
my
gonna have fun.
yeah, they pulled out my retro bowl tactics. Trade my players on the last year of their contract and then get a high first round pick and pick somebody. But yeah,
Yeah,
Jalen Carter, he's definitely an off the field issue coming into the NFL, or that's a worry at least. Um, but the Eagles are a type of team that can take that. Like nobody in the
yeah,
top 10 is like, yeah, we're just going to completely throw away a first round pick. The Eagles obviously don't want to either, but it's like he's there. We've got a big enough and good enough team that if he is an off the field issue, we got a guy who can back him up right away. Like ultimately,
mm,
their hope is that he stays out of trouble. But if he does, they're not that. They shouldn't have had this ninth overall pick. The Saints
exactly.
gave it to him. So I mean, they went boomer bust, and I mean, they really went boomer bust here. And if all goes well, they're dangerous. And I think that was the team that made the most sense for Jalen Carter to fall to, in my opinion.
Hmm.
So I think, yeah, Eagles definitely looked happy when they made that pick. And then Nolan Smith too. I don't know. That's going to be that's defense who lost a few pieces and they're just reloading. My
Yep.
goodness, they're going to be good again. I hate to break it to you, but I mean Cowboys look like they can put up a fight in the NFC East, maybe take it. But man, right now I'm leaning towards the Eagles. Cowboys have made
Yeah.
some great offseason moves, but Eagles are just I don't know what the Eagles haven't done except anything bad. They don't do anything bad.
Yeah. It's tough. I like what you said. I mean, they're playing with house money. They just made the
Mm,
Super Bowl and they got a top 10 pick. Like, what? They don't have anything to lose here, really. I mean, like you said, they don't want to waste it, but I mean, if a guy like Jalen Carter, who probably is like the best player in the entire draft, falls to them at 9, even if yeah, even if he gets suspended or something, what do you have to lose? They already got their 31st pick. That was also a really good pick, of course. And yeah, if pick hits, yeah, we are in big, big trouble. Our offensive line is in massive trouble.
mm.
Yeah, and they just extended Jalen Hurts. Um, so got to deal with him for at least another 5 more years. Wow, they're aggressive and it got them to the Super Bowl and they might make it there. I'd say they're definitely the favorite. I mean, they got one of like the only top tier quarterbacks in the NFC, and they got a nasty defense. They got a nasty offensive line, and oh my gosh, if they get Derrick Henry tonight somehow, I, I
It's over.
it's so over. I'm not even gonna. I'm just gonna cancel my TV subscription. I don't need to see this here. I can't watch it. Oh my gosh. I mean,
Yeah.
Derrick Henry behind the offensive line with Jalen Hurts as an option. You would not be able to stop that. Like
Mm.
they could just run up the middle for like 4 plays of drive. Like that could work. Like
Just
how are you gonna
insane.
stop? It's the same thing as the QB sneak they had.
Mm.
You can't stop it. It just yeah, yeah. Oh wow.
They just, I don't know. They're just better. I don't know how to put it. Like they're just better. Eagles, I can't believe they didn't win the Super Bowl. I think it's not an excuse, but I think the field conditions definitely.
Oh, absolutely.
They're a pass rush team. Field conditions definitely killed it on that end. Like they rely on those sacks, and they couldn't really get them because they couldn't get any traction. Not everybody was dealing with it. Not saying that they weren't, but I think when you look at who took the brunt of it, I think both pass rushes took a big hit from it. And the
Hmm.
Eagles' pass rush is maybe the best of all time. Statistically, it's definitely up there, um, but maybe one of the best of all time. And
Yeah.
I mean, they just got completely destroyed by that, and now they just reloaded, got another, and then like you said, the QB sneak. That offensive line is just insane. And you look at the threats they have: Devontae Smith, AJ Brown. Running back might be an issue. Who cares? They're gonna get Derrick Henry somehow. It's
Yeah,
just
we'll figure something out.
Jalen Hurts. I don't know. That team is nasty, but
Yeah,
um, and then rounding out the top 10, you got the Bears taking O line, which they needed.
yeah,
They really needed. So, and I don't know. It's up to you. We can go further down the draft if you want, or we can just kind of point out certain things. Uh, I guess we didn't talk about Bijan Robinson though. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but
yeah, yeah. I think you did. Yeah,
I didn't expect him to go nearly that high. I
no.
thought maybe the Eagles would pull the trigger on him.
Hmm.
Like I don't know if anybody else is really even in that market, and Falcons pulled the trigger. I did not expect that either. I originally thought that they would get Devin Witherspoon. I didn't think Witherspoon would fall to or get to five. I think it's a great pick, but I didn't think he'd
Yeah,
go there.
yeah. I was definitely surprised by that. I mean, I don't love to pull the whole first round running back narrative just because it can really work out sometimes.
Mhm.
But yeah, typically when you see a running back drafted that high, he's gonna have to be that guy. He's gonna just have to be. I think the last running back drafted that high was Saquon. I could be wrong about that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
I
so. I
might.
think Saquon was 2018. Is that right? 2017, 18?
I think it was 18. I could be wrong.
Zeke and CMC were before him, and I don't think
Yeah.
anybody else has even came into this draft. Like Najee Harris was one they were looking at, but he fell to I
Hmm.
think 22 or something.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
and you're right on that. He's definitely the highest in a while.
Hmm. Yeah. And then, yeah, I guess speaking of running backs, what are the Lions doing? I'm a bit
No clue.
confused.
No clue. I mean, they could have with the whole gambling suspensions that were given out, they could have
Hmm.
gone a wide receiver, and I think they would have been fine. They could have gone edge rusher, and I was thinking they might go defensive back,
Yeah. Especially when they give up
running back.
Okuda.
Mm,
I I don't know what they're cooking. I mean,
excuse me.
no disrespect to Jameer Gibbs, obviously, but well, I thought he might be second round. I did not think. I thought the Cowboys might have a chance at him, but
Oh no,
12. I was like,
yeah,
what? Um, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but they got David Montgomery and DeAndre Swift, which was already surprising enough, and now they got Jameer Gibbs. Do they want
yeah.
to have no idea what to do with fantasy football running backs for the Detroit Lions? Because that's what they're trying to do, it seems like. I don't know what to do.
Listen, I had DeAndre Swift. He was my second round pick last year. Anybody coming on here for fantasy football advice, do not draft a Lions running back. Terrible
Don't do it.
idea. Also, don't draft Najee Harris in the first round because then you'll end up in like what? We had seven teams make the playoffs, I think.
Yeah,
You'll end up in eighth place after you finally figure out a way to trade them. You'll still lose. It's terrible. But yeah, I
not
don't
very fun.
understand. What are they going to do? Split the snaps three ways? Because I mean, it's not like you can't. You're drafting a running back. I think in the first round that high, you obviously want to use him.
Hmm.
Maybe they're trading DeAndre Swift. That's the only thing I can think of, but I don't know
Yeah.
anybody who would want DeAndre. Take that back. The Eagles. The Eagles might want DeAndre Swift,
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I could see
and
that.
that might be a good fit. I,
What would it be a good fit with Philadelphia? They seem to hit on everything nowadays.
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, um, yeah, but just crazy. Then another
Hmm.
thing I was surprised by too. It took 20 picks to get to a wide receiver, which
Yeah,
I will address as a Packers fan. I wanted Jackson Smith and Jigba. Packers and Ohio State fan. I wanted Jackson Smith and Jigba, but I do think this is the right pick. We struggled last year without Rashawn Gary, and we needed the edge pressure. Now, going back to the wide receiver thing here, took 20 picks, but then teams were like, "Oh crap, we got to get a wide receiver." 4 teams in a row got a wide receiver after there was none for 20 picks. That was just like that was shocking.
that
I thought they'd go earlier, at least
yeah,
JSN, and then not
that,
4 in a row. That's insane.
that was that was crazy. I mean, it reminded me of like a fantasy football draft. Like, oh, did you take a quarterback? Okay, all right. Give me a quarterback. Give me a quarterback. Give me a quarterback. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's what it felt like. I was like, okay, wow. I guess we're getting wide receivers now. Um, yeah, that was quite something.
Yeah,
I think the Seahawks. I like it. I mean, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and JSN now. That could be interesting. And then you got
yeah.
Walker at your running back. Another year of him coming off an injury. Who knows what he had a good start last season. Um, yeah, and then they also got the cornerback out of Illinois, whose name I'm blanking on. Um,
Witherspoon.
yes, thank you. Um, so yeah, their defense strengthened. So Seahawks A plus. That you got a good draft in
Yeah.
my opinion. Yeah, I'm excited to see what they can do. Glad they're not in the NFC East, but I got
Mm-hmm.
other concerns there.
Yeah, I don't know if they're expecting Lockett to. I mean, his career's winded down here, but I they need a speed guy. They got Lockett. They need a route
Mhm.
runner. They got uh Jackson Smith and Jigba, and then they got DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf is, I was a hater for a while, but DK Metcalf can do a lot. Guy's fast. He's not the greatest route runner out there, but he's strong. I mean, you get the ball in his hands, he's
Good
tough to
luck.
take down. Yeah, have fun. It's a grown man coming at you, but yeah, like you said, I think it's an A plus for Seahawks on the night. The only team I think did better is the Eagles. Uh,
hmm
but yeah, they're up there for sure. Then, as an NFC North fan, I hate to say this. Seeing Adam Thielen leave, I was sad as like a football fan, happy as an NFC North fan. Um, oh my goodness, Jordan Addison paired up with Justin Jefferson, and then on top of that, the best wide receiver in the league, Jalen Rager. I mean, it's
Yeah,
going to be insane with Addison and Jefferson. That's going to be. I'm
and
scared for
Riker.
that. Yeah, and Rager. Rager's going to come in with 2 catches and 9 yards on the season. Great return, man, but other than that, he's
hmm
not really too scary. But yeah, I don't know. I thought the draft was pretty. It went about how I thought it would. I don't think there was anything too like groundbreaking team wise. Obviously, we didn't expect the Texans to trade up and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
I mean, you expect the unexpected type of thing, like
hmm
that. But I didn't think it was too crazy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Will Levis was the craziest thing. I thought he would go in the first round, but
hmm
I didn't think he should have went in the first round. So it was interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I'll talk about the Cowboys draft pick. As you obviously know, the entire night I was hoping for Dalton Kincaid, the tight end. I watched his highlight tapes for a while. I was really excited. I was like, oh my gosh, if this guy falls to us, this is gonna be amazing. I mean, it would work perfectly. We already had Dalton last year. We got rid of him. And then another Dalton who's better comes in. We do have Jake Ferguson, who I really like. But Dalton was really good. And then the Jaguars said, you know what? We're just gonna trade the Bills real quick, right in front of your face, and we're gonna take Dalton. So that was a little bit upsetting. And then the Cowboys take Mozzie Smith from the team up north, which as an Ohio State fan, hurts, but hey, he's got Cowboys colors on. We're past that. I forgive him. Uh, at first, obviously, I was a little upset because I was already mad about what the Eagles were doing, and then to
Mhm.
see the to see the Bills draft right in front of us and get the player I wanted to get was rough. Um, but I've gotten a chance to sleep on it. It's a good pick. Um, because our interior rush defense was probably our probably our second biggest concern last year. The other concern was the opposite side of Trayvon Diggs on defense. So it's a good pick. And we needed some interior defense, and he's a dog. I can tell. And years of experience in the game. He's good. So yeah,
Mhm.
I'm excited to see him in the in Cowboys gear. I can't really be excited about this draft. Nothing, it's not like against the Cowboys really at this point. It's just what Howie Roseman was able to do with the Philadelphia Eagles. It's just like I don't
Yeah.
even know what to do at this point. It's like, okay, like last year was already bad enough when they
Mhm.
got AJ Brown out of nowhere, and I was like, oh my gosh, they did that. And they got Jordan Davis, and then this year just ridiculous. And they might get Derrick Henry, so. Yep. Should be a fun year.
Indeed. Yeah, but yeah, just crazy. The Eagles are, I don't know how you want to put it, but they're just doing what they need to do. That's bad for NFC East fans, bad for NFC fans.
Hmm.
Uh, unless you got Jordan Love on your team, which then
There
I
you go.
beg to differ that Jordan Love is the answer. But uh, and I think unless you have any other comments about the draft, uh, we got I think 6 minutes left here
Hmm.
for NFL. Do you have anything left?
Nope, not about the draft. I think I made my rant.
All right. Now I got to agree though. Mozzie Smith, I think, is a good pick. Like I don't like the team up north, but I think he's a good pick. But I think that leaves us with one other story from the NFL this week, including Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. One that I've been waiting for a long time. Um, one could say years, possibly, with all the things that have been going on. But
You could definitely say yours. Yeah.
yeah, I looking at the trade, the Packers got a first round this year, I believe a second round this year.
Hmm.
Um, a later round pick, I
I
believe,
think it was a fourth, right?
fourth. That sounds right. And well, a pick swap in the first this year. Sorry.
Hmm.
Um, and then a second round pick next year that could turn into a first if Rodgers plays over 65% of the snaps. As a Packers fan, I'm beyond happy with that. That is that's way more than I thought we'd get. I thought we'd get like a second round, maybe a third this year, and then another second next year, something like that. In no way did I think that we are going to get a pick swap in this round, which I think that's the only reason we got Lucas Van Ness because the guys behind us also went D line. I believe, or oh no, I take it back. The yeah, might be misunderstood there, but I think that's the only reason that we thought we could get Lucas Van Ness is if we traded up. Good, good work there. We got a second round pick. We need a tight end.
Hmm.
If we could get, I don't know, I don't, we could get a safety or another linebacker. I think we're in business or a tight end. We need a tight end. I don't know if I said tight end. Tight end, safety, linebacker are
There you go.
three that we need. I want Darnell Washington with one of the two picks tonight. I don't care if Michael Mayer's on the board. Darnell Washington's a dog. But going back to the trade here, we're gonna get that first round pick. Rodgers is a dude who plays through any injury he gets, any injury. He's playing 65% of the snaps. The Packers just got a pick swap, a first round, a second round, a third round, and a fourth round pick for a quarterback who is 90% retired after the end of the season.
Yeah.
That I didn't expect that good of a trade, and yeah, I'm beyond happy with that. I Jordan Love season. That's all I'll say. I'm beyond happy. So I'll leave it to you, but I think the Packers got done what they needed to get done and more. I was shocked by that.
Yeah, I was just sitting in class, I get my ESPN alert and I was like, "Oh, it finally happened." And my gosh, when I saw the details, I was shocked because I
Mm-hmm.
like you, I mean, we've seen this so many times recently, we got Jalen Ramsey going for a third round pick, Brandon Cooks going for a fifth round pick. So I was like, he's a huge hit against the cap. He
Mm-hmm.
clearly doesn't want to be in Green Bay. The Packers don't really want him anymore. So I was like, they'll probably get maybe like one first round pick and like a second or something. Like I did not expect really much, but my gosh, a pick swap, first round, oh well, sorry, conditional second round pick that I agree will definitely turn into a first round pick. Second round pick this year. I I can't exactly say, oh yeah, the Packers fleeced them just because it is Aaron Rodgers, but the Packers definitely got way more than I thought they were gonna get. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, if I'm you, I would be happy about this because I mean you got Jordan Love, who I definitely liked against the Eagles. And you got a lot of picks for the future, and also you don't have as big of as a cap hit at this point, so that's pretty cool. Um, so yeah, I'd say this is a great move by the Packers. They got way more than I expected. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like you were saying about the like third round pick for Ramsey, fifth for Cooks. It's like a salary drop or a salary drop. I said that right.
Yep. Yeah,
But
yeah.
um, Rodgers has one of the biggest salaries in the league, and
Yeah.
he's 39, and he's considering retirement, and he's just kind of an issue within the organization sometimes. So yeah, I was completely surprised. Like exactly what you said. I can't believe it. Still, I'm happy. I'm really happy. I think Love will be. I think he'll be really good in Green Bay. That's my hope, at least. I've got the jersey already, which I got to get fixed. The sleeve was falling off a bit, so
Mm,
getting it stitched up, and then I'll have it back on. I'm on here with it, but it's Jordan Love season now, baby.
from last season.
Uh, and with that, I you have anything else to add about the draft, the trade, anything else NFL wise?
Um, yeah. Hey, Dallas Cowboys, do good tonight. And Howie Roseman, please have mercy.
So very good. I'll agree with the second one, not the first one. Not a complete supporter of that, but I get where you're
Expected.
coming from on that. Yeah, I think that covers our NFL section of the show today, and we're on to the NBA playoffs, which they have had some surprises so far.
Hmm.
I will say that. Um, what's today's date? It is the 28th, just so there's no confusion on where we're at with games or anything like that. Uh, Probably should have said that earlier in the show, but yes, we were on the 28th. All but two series have finished. So I guess we'll start with those. I believe both play tonight. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
I know which one you want to start with, so we'll hit that one right now. Grizzlies and Lakers. It's as a Lakers fan, I think you got to be happy right now. But
Um, yeah, something like that. Obviously.
little
Um,
hesitation there.
yeah, so this weekend was fun because game 3 was awesome. Started at 35-9 in the first quarter. That was really fun.
It was shocking.
Um, yeah, and then game four was also game four gave me probably about I probably took like 3 years off my life, I'd say. Um, the Lakers photo, and I think I woke up my entire dorm floor after LeBron made that insane layup to send it to overtime. The guy who's not clutch apparently, and then the shot, the and one over Dylan Brooks was that was magnificent. Um, so games three and four were really fun. Game five. To be fair, I said before game five, I said we're gonna lose this one by probably 10, and I said that they were gonna probably start out to about a 10-point first quarter lead, and they did something about that. Yeah, I was like, we're on the road. They literally need this to survive. So I was like, they're gonna get this one. Um, so what I wanted was, I'm not a coach or anything, so I don't exactly know how to do it all, but I was hoping, play a half, see how things are going, play into the third quarter, and if it's looking bad, bad, take Anthony Davis, take LeBron James, and have him go take a seat on the bench and get him ready for game six. Unfortunately, we didn't exactly do that. They still played like till the end, which I was like, what are we doing? Um, but yeah, game five was not fun. They were able to make threes this past game, and that killed us. And LeBron just did not play good. We didn't really play good as a whole, but LeBron had some nasty turnovers. Yeah. So sadly, this is what I fear would happen. I think tonight is we got to win this one. I think this is a must-win game because I don't. If it's 3-3 and we go to Memphis, I don't know if we're winning that game. I don't know. I hate to say that, but game seven in Memphis, I don't like our odds against them there, especially in game seven. So I'd say tonight's a must win for the Lakers. So I'm stressing, but technically we got 2 games to win this, but I think if we don't win tonight, I definitely would not be feeling good. But yeah, let's gotta have LeBron lock in and we'll be fine, I think.
I gotta agree with all that. I think if it goes back to Game 7, I don't like the odds for the Lakers. Yeah, but Game 5 was Brooks and LeBron had a mid off. That was a bad one. That was really bad. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I think you know I will say apologies to fans of the Bucks, the Cavs, anybody else we jinxed last week. Hopefully, we're not doing this with the Lakers right now. I think the Lakers can take care of business tonight. Um, I know you don't want to hear me say that because then that means that they're going to get their butts kicked in both 6 and 7. But uh,
Yep.
last week we had some pretty cold takes. I guess shouldn't have
I
been
guess we
cold
did.
takes. I mean, they were popular. But I think for some reason my earbud disconnected. So I'm trying to
Uh,
figure that out real quick.
rude earbud.
Yeah,
They didn't want
there
you
we
to
go.
keep talking.
Yeah,
I,
Zoom must be a Lakers fan too. Um,
that's my bad. I got a bit angry there. I was like, oh, he's gonna jinx us. Sorry, my bad. Keep talking.
yeah, Memphis is gonna kick the Lakers' butts. No disconnect there, but yeah, I think the Lakers will take care of business tonight, and I'd be shocked if they didn't. To be honest, I mean, I think we both had Memphis winning in the first round, but
Yeah,
uh, the Lakers came out and played better than I thought they would. But I still think the Ja injury kind of, I think that screwed up the Grizzlies' chances here to win. But the Jazz looked pretty good, especially for the injury.
yeah. If he jumps one more time on LeBron, I don't know. He,
He just
my
like throws
gosh.
himself. He's like, my goodness, and I understand why he gets injured. He's got to figure something out because he's
Yeah,
playing like he's just indestructible.
yeah. Well, his hops are incredible. but yeah, they're
insane.
dangerous. Oof.
Mm, yeah, uh, uh, yeah. He's. I feel like he's going to be another Derrick Rose type of player if he keeps playing like this. But
Yeah, very dangerous.
yeah,
Yeah.
I guess with that, we'll move on to the final series going on right now, which is the Kings and the Warriors. I chose the Warriors to win. They're up 3-2 now. They're in Golden State or at Golden State tonight.
Yeah.
Kings started out hot. I thought it might be a sweep, honestly. I mean, they just looked really good.
Hmm.
And then they got cold for games 3 and 4. And then game 5, it was close most of the way. I think Warriors ended up winning by let's see, by 7. But I mean it was a
Yeah, it's
close
close.
game. And I don't know, man. I feel bad for the Kings and their fans, but I mean at least getting 2 wins against the reigning champions in the first round of the playoffs. I mean, that's got to be something. They're making progress. And I'm not calling this series wraps. I do think the Warriors are going to take it tonight. Uh, but I don't know. The Kings just, I thought they had it, man. I really did. And I was cheering for them. Like I said, I have them on my bracket, but it's a great story. I was just hoping the Kings could pull it off. And they still can, but they're up against the ropes right now. And they're pretty ice cold with 3 losses in a row. So yeah, I don't know what to expect, but I think Warriors take it.
Yeah. I picked the Kings to win this one in my bracket. And I was hyped at first. Yeah, they start out good. 2-0. I was like, all right, that's what you're supposed to do when you got home court advantage. You win your 2 home games and then see what happens on the road. They obviously lost both games on the road, and then they lost this past one at home, and now they go back to Golden State, and yeah, I think it's a wraps. I think Golden
Mm,
State at home, just especially in that playoff atmosphere. Kings are a young team still, not a whole lot of playoff experience, unfortunately. So yeah, I think Warriors win this one, and they advance. Bill, I like what you're saying. This is I know it's tough to say as a fan, but I mean, as a Kings fan, this is great. I mean, you got to the playoffs for one. You got the three seed, and
mm,
I mean, you played incredibly hard against the defending champions. So that's worth something. And I know that sounds like me giving them like a participation trophy, but it was
yeah,
still, I think it's definitely progress for the organization. I think the fans are definitely now more excited. Because I always feel bad for teams like them who just never really get to the playoffs, just mid-year after mid-year, over or less than mid actually. This is
yeah,
definitely progress for them, and they're a young team, and I'm sure they'll be lighting the beam a lot more in the future. And of course, I'm probably completely jinxing them, and they're gonna come back in the series and then beat the Lakers or Grizzlies. So
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, we're probably jinxing them, but I mean, you've got, like you said, the 3 seed, giving it to the reigning champs for a couple games there. I mean, still in it, still in it. Not this isn't a funeral for the Kings yet.
tonight might be.
Yeah, but I mean, you got the coach of the year too. It's like you have everything you need. You're just young. It's
Yeah,
I think it's definitely a turning point for the Kings. Uh, and I think next year they're going to start getting the respect they deserve, and I hope they can keep it up. And I'm a Sixers fan, so I mean they don't really affect the Sixers much. Only I think 2 games of the season, but man, I don't know as a Lakers fan if you can say it, but I am rooting for the Kings. They're one team. I'm the same way with the Hornets. I guess the Hornets are in the East, but I'm rooting for the Hornets too to figure it out. But Kings look like they finally have.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
but yeah,
I also think it's cool. It's pretty convenient that the two remaining games are actually the two teams that'll end up playing each other. So that way the rest will be about the same. That's kind of nice. That's kind of nice.
it's a good
Um,
advantage.
yeah. Yep. And I
Or
do
not
think,
advantage, good equality.
yeah, yeah, on the same level. Yeah.
Yeah,
It would be quite the show to see LeBron go up against Curry in the playoffs. That'd be fun to see.
it
Um,
would be.
yeah, but no, I gotta stay focused on the Grizzlies. I gotta stay locked in. Uh,
I was
gotta
just
take
gonna
care
ask
of
if
got yeah.
I
I
was just
gotta
gonna
take
ask
care
if
of
we ever
Dylan
saw
Brooks
that.
first.
Yeah, Dylan Brooks and Curry. I, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just about to ask if we ever saw Curry and LeBron before, and then just completely slipped my mind. The finals
No,
for
I
4 straight
have we?
years.
When did I feel like I've seen that before?
I
We
was
might have seen that for 4 straight years in the finals. I'm not 100% sure though.
I was thinking Lakers and Warriors, not Cavs or Heat or anybody
Yeah,
else. I was just strictly thinking Lakers, but I mean the Heat
yeah.
didn't. But yeah,
Well, we beat him in the yeah, we beat him in the play in 2021. Yeah, that
oh, that
was
is
fun.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Okay. Speaking of you know, equal rest. There's one series that had a very differing rest. Um, Little sweep from the 76ers. And then last night, the Celtics and the Hawks. The one that I'm getting to here, the Celtics and the Hawks. Celtics are not looking like they did in the regular season.
Nope.
I Which is something that you don't really see from the Celtics, especially last year. Um, it is a new coach. We've got to understand that, I guess, that it's a new coach in the playoffs. So, yeah, I mean, you can't expect a sweep, I'd say. But, I mean, they almost went to 7. The score last night, they didn't win by 8. They That was a much closer game than that. Um, the Hawks had many chances to win that game and then just failed in the fourth quarter. And I guess you could say that for the two games the Hawks won. The Celtics just completely failed in the fourth quarter. So, I mean, you might want to disagree that they didn't have I mean, Celtics had a chance to win it, so they could have swept, whatever. But ultimately, the Hawks did have a chance to win. They didn't win. I'm not saying they should have or anything like that. All I'm saying is the Celtics could have went to 7 against the 7 seed.
Yeah.
I don't know how you should really look at that as a as an indicator for the next round. Now I'm looking now. The Celtics are 7.5 point favorites against the Sixers in Game 1, which is on Monday.
What?
I
Really?
gotta disagree with that one.
7.5? What? That's crazy.
That's a little extreme in my opinion. Yeah, but like Sixers did not look amazing by any means, but they're the only team that swept.
Hmm.
Celtics did not look amazing by any means. They did not sweep either, which I mean, you don't need to sweep. Didn't expect them to sweep, but I don't know. I think the Nets put up a better defensive. How do I put this? Defensive matchup against Embiid than the Celtics could. The Celtics are not going to trap him every single play, so Embiid is going to be able to score. The Nets played in a way you got to hold Embiid to 0 points. That's the only way we're going to win. And I mean, I think that is true. I think that's the only way they could have won a game that series is if Embiid didn't score. Now he didn't score in Game 4, and that didn't seem to matter. But
Yeah.
like that's how they were playing the series. Trap him every time he touches the ball. And Celtics aren't going to do that. Embiid's going to cook, and then you got all these other guys who have confidence that they can do something if Embiid can't. I think the Sixers have more of a chance than I thought before the playoffs, which is not a good combination of hope. So no, but Boston surprised me, and I'll leave it to you here. But I think it could be a great series. I think this could go to seven.
Yeah, Celtics Hawks definitely quite the shocker. I mean, I watched the first two games and I was like, yep, that's a sweep. And then Hawks came and won game four, and then Trae Young makes a crazy shot to win game five. So, and then yeah, like you said, um, I was a bit occupied with the NFL draft, but I kept checking the score and I was like, there's like 5 minutes left and it's like a 1 point game. What is going on?
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, that game was a lot closer than I thought it would have been. And I mean, I think just the amount of rest the 76ers have over the Celtics is, I think rest is incredibly important in the playoffs. I mean, this is like what, almost, I mean, it's about what, 5 days? 5 days of extra rest?
Sixers were done on Saturday, so you got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, 5 days. Good
Hey,
math there.
that could be huge. Um, so yeah, I don't want to jinx your Sixes or anything, but yeah, after watching the Celtics, they might not be exactly who I thought they were. And yeah, I don't know. I could see some chaos happening here. I think it's gonna be a heck of a series. And I think the 76ers just added an edge in the just amount of rest they'll have. And yeah, I like your point about Embiid kind of going off, you know. He was kind of trapped in this series. They swept still, but now I think he'll be let loose a bit more, and that could be dangerous. That could be very dangerous.
Yeah, and I think Embiid's injured too, so Embiid would have came back. They said early next week, so I think he would have missed game 4 and 5 at least if they would have lost game 4. I don't know about game 6 if they would have lost. So Sixers were banged up. They needed this desperately,
Hmm.
and I mean it was a physical series. That's probably one of the most physical series I've ever seen. So the rest was huge there. I think the next biggest thing, Sixers have got to win game 1. I don't care how you do it, you got to win game 1. Because Sixers have been a team in the past that you lose game 1, especially to a team like the Celtics, who you're 1-3 against this season, and the Sixers are just done. I mean, they walk in defeated, they lose game 1, and they walk out, and they're ready for Bora Bora. They're done. Meet Dylan Brooks in Cancun in a couple weeks, but I think the biggest thing they got to win game 1. They got to keep Embiid healthy. If they can do those two things, I think they win the series.
I
But they
like
just
it.
got to get the momentum.
All about momentum.
Indeed. Um, no, I think this will be a quick one. The Nuggets beat the Timberwolves. No shocker there.
We haven't really talked too much about that.
No apologies there. With only 4 series left, we'll start talking about them. But my goodness, I could not get into that series. I couldn't.
No.
Um, just,
Congratulations to the Timberwolves for winning a game. Good job.
yeah, yeah, good job there.
You showed
Feel
up.
bad for Ant. Ant got a assault charge after throwing a chair too. He didn't hit whoever he threw it at.
That's probably the biggest thing I saw. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Nuggets fans, if you're watching this, we're sorry we don't talk about your team much, but at least your players don't have assault charges, and we're
That's
sorry,
cool.
Anthony Edwards, because definitely did not deserve that assault charge. But, uh, yeah, Nuggets won. Anything to add?
No,
Okay.
I got nothing.
Suns Clippers. Russ went off. The rest of the team did not. The
Yeah.
rest of the team didn't really play, to be honest. Kawhi and PG. PG was a question for game 1, and then just didn't play the entire series.
Yep.
And then Suns, Devin Booker, KD, they just kind of dominated. CP's doing his thing. I don't have anything else to add. That wasn't really an interesting series, to be honest.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I thought it'd be in six. It kind of feels like a weird like, dang, Suns won in five because especially those first few games I thought were pretty brutal, pretty physical, hard fought.
Mm.
I mean, the Clippers won game one, but yeah, then Suns just said, "Yeah, enough of this," and they just won four in a row. So yeah, I I like Russell Westbrook. Obviously, he didn't work out with the Lakers, but it was fun to see him cook again. Unfortunately, like you said, the rest of the team didn't show up. Um, and I think the biggest thing I got to say about the Clippers right now is just I feel so bad for Kawhi. Just
Mm.
what he tore something now with his knee, something meniscus.
I think it was meniscus. Yeah,
Yeah, pain.
something like that.
Too bad. I
Or
like Kawhi.
yeah, and
Um,
then I don't know if you heard about his sister too. She was
yeah,
life in
that
prison just a few days. Like it's just, and then you got
he,
Stephen A. Smith over here ripping on him, saying he's the worst superstar ever, and it's
I
just like, dude, he's tore his meniscus first of all.
yeah.
Second of all, like look what's going on in his personal life. He's been dealing with this since 2019. Like
hmm
you got to feel bad for the guy. He's just,
I
I
mean,
don't know.
I don't understand that point at all. Like how he won. Well, he's won two finals, right? One with Spurs, one with the Raptors.
I
Was it two with
believe
the?
so.
I think it was one with the Spurs.
I think it was one with the Spurs.
Okay. Yeah. So the whole narrative about him being a bad superstar, I don't get. Like, I he was insane on the Raptors, and yeah, like you say,
Mhm.
he's been insanely banged up. And yeah, he's got so many off the court problems. It really is sad because, he's obviously not exactly the most talkative person around, but man, when you hear about what he's gone through, you understand it. So I feel bad for him, but he's a heck of a player. I have high respect for him. And I mean, LeBron does too. Back in the Heat Spurs series, I remember when Kawhi came in and LeBron was like,
I was gonna
dang it.
say, he may have led that Raptors team, but he was a issue for LeBron in those Spurs and Heat series. I mean,
hmm Yeah.
may not have been the leader, but he was definitely an issue. So, I mean, he's always had that. He's always been really good, and yeah, you just gotta feel bad for the guy.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate, but
hmm
I think that's all for that series. If you're
I'm good. Yeah. Congratulations
uh,
to the Phoenix Suns.
congratulations. Um, Now we move over to the two that we both incorrectly predicted.
Yeah.
Last week
Pretty
we
bad
had
too.
yeah, last week we had a we had a take about Cleveland taking the game two from the Knicks, and you know I'll only speak for myself here. I said I think it's over in five. I correctly predicted that. Now I said the Cavs would beat the crap out of the Knicks. That
Mm.
did not happen. That did not happen at all. It was the exact opposite. It was another series that I just could not get into because it was every game somebody was up by 15 or 20. And every game it was the Knicks who were up by 15 or 20. So my apologies to the Cavs for predicting that incorrectly. But
hmm
uh, yeah, the Knicks just beat the crap out of the Cavs. So
Yeah, I don't know what the heck is going on in Cleveland. But yeah, Knicks just felt like they just bully bottom. I didn't get to see too much this series, but I kept seeing the score. I was like, the Knicks are this is game five. How were they up like this much? This is like the Cavs' last like this is it for them. And yeah, they lost. So I was like, oh my gosh. Because after game two, I was like, okay, we've seen this movie before. The Cavs are a better team. They lost game one, but they're fired up now. They're gonna go win the rest, and they'll win in six probably. Easy series. And yeah, that's not exactly what happened. Uh,
not at all.
props to the Knicks. They heard you. I think they
Yeah,
were like, nah, 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 that ain't gonna happen. So.
so
Congratulations to the New York Knicks. Good
yeah, they
job.
wrapped that one up. And now we got a little under 9 minutes left here, but the Bucks and the Heat. Another one of the predictions that we had. We did say last week it'll depend when Giannis comes back because I believe it was 1-1 at that point.
We did say that.
Um, I said, I think we said if Giannis comes back fully, we think the Bucks will win. I think you could argue that he didn't come back fully. No, we did say before the series started, we're not going to talk about this one because it's 4-0. No doubt, Bucks win. Um,
I mean, he didn't
definitely
even win their playing game. The first they didn't even win that. So what were
against the
they supposed
Hawks
to do?
too. Yeah, I was like, and then all of a sudden in like 2 days they just come back and do this. I don't know. But yeah, Giannis didn't look great. He missed more free throws than I can count on two hands in Game 5. But like the Bucks just didn't look good. Budenholzer had pretty Game 5. I watched Game 5, especially the last couple minutes. He had terrible coaching, terrible. Like Spoelstra completely outcoached him. Spoelstra, a great coach. Budenholzer is too. But I mean, he didn't even call a timeout after the Heat made their game-tying shot from playoff Jimmy, which my goodness, that shot was insane. I know
I
we
don't even
were
know how.
texting during it and we were going insane.
Yeah, I was like, no freaking way. Because when he passed it, I was like, what are they doing? And
I
then all of a
know.
sudden, Butler's on the ground going like that. I was like, what? I could not believe it. I was like, no way that actually just happened.
I thought they were going for a three. I don't know why they went for the tip in because I was like, you got time, but
Yeah.
it worked.
Win is a win.
More than worked. Yeah. Yeah, but I think they just got outcoached and outplayed too. The Heat wanted to be there more, which is kind of scary. I think
Yeah,
don't want to jinx it, but I think the Heat are going to beat the crap out of the Knicks. If they play like they did, they will.
playoff
Um,
Jimmy.
yeah, playoff Jimmy is insane. I think the Heat could be the first 8 seed to ever make the finals. I know that's a big take, but
Heck,
if the Sixers win, I'm very worried about playing the Heat possibly in the Eastern Conference Finals. If Boston wins, I think Boston makes it, but I think they still put up a fight. I think no matter what happens, I think the Heat will win, go to the Eastern Conference Finals, and I think Philly and Boston will have an issue with them. I mean, they found their groove. I was not high on the Heat before this playoffs after the play-in loss. I was a little shocked, but now they're dangerous. They're dangerous.
I mean, yeah, what do they have to lose? I mean, they're freaking playing team.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
I'd say it's a really good mix of the Bucks absolutely playing terrible and just they just like you said they didn't look like they were in it. And also just Jimmy Butler going insane. Like game 4 had like 56 points and then game 5 in Milwaukee makes this ridiculous shot to tie it up. It's just like what the heck is going on? I am shocked by this. I don't think Giannis was 100%, and I love Giannis, so I'll make that excuse for him. But my gosh, I mean, they're the 8 seed, and they played a heck of a lot better than that. And yet, I think they're dangerous. If I'm a Knicks fan, I'm definitely excited about what they did to the Cavs. But I mean, the Heat, Jimmy Butler. And I just think the fact they won it in 5, like that's what the top seeds are supposed to do, not the freaking 8 versus 1. It's just
Mhm.
shocking to me. Yeah, wow. Congratulations to the Miami Heat. My goodness.
Yeah. No, I was definitely. Yeah, if you told me at the beginning of the series that it would be a 5 game series, I'd be like, okay, how much is
Yeah.
Giannis putting up every game? Tell me 30. Like, okay, Bucks win pretty easily, right? Like, no, not at all. But Giannis was forcing shots. I think that's how he got to 30. He just didn't. He didn't look like Giannis. I know a lot of people are saying that he's the most coddled superstar because nobody's ripping on him. Nobody's ripping on him for a reason. He was injured. Um, And yeah, I mean, I do agree that, that people are saying if Tatum lost or if Embiid lost, it would just be nonstop. They should have done this, they should have done this. And yeah, it would have been like that. But I mean, we never seen this from Giannis before. And I don't know. It was interesting for sure.
Yeah.
But I think we're in for a pretty good second round here. This is
Oh yeah.
shaping up to be very good.
Yep. Should be fun. Hopefully the Lakers are there.
Yeah, and hopefully the Lakers and Sixers make it out of there, but we'll see. Um, yeah, but with a couple minutes left here, who do you have winning these games real quick? Or these series real quick? We'll start with Denver and Phoenix. Who do you have?
I'll take Phoenix in 6.
I got to agree with that. I think that's a good take. I think the bench might be an issue. I think that's why I'd go to 6.
Yeah.
Um, I guess we won't hit on the other Western Conference one since it's not settled yet. But Heat and Knicks,
I want to take the I'm gonna take the Heat. Heat in I'll say 7. Heat in 7.
7.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be a feisty series, but I think Jimmy Butler comes out alive.
Heat and 5. I
I like it.
I'm going with that. Now Philly and Boston. This one could go either way. I know in our brackets we both had separate ones. But who do you have now?
Oh gosh. I
You
want to
can
stay
say
true
it.
to my bracket for purposes, but I'll I gotta say Sixers in 7 because I really like the rest they got, especially after a physical matchup. And the Celtics aren't exactly playing where I thought they were. I think the Sixers win in 7 for bracket purposes. Well, actually no, I can't root for the Celtics for you and because I hate the Celtics. So
Thank
I'll
you.
root for the Sixers. But yeah, Sixers in 7, calling it.
I'll have to say Sixers and 6. I think if it goes to 7, I think Boston wins. If it goes to 6, I think, or if it stays at 6, I think Philly can win it. But I'm hopeful. I'm really hopeful. That's not a good sign, but um, so yeah, Phoenix fans, Heat fans, and Philly fans, when they all lose in the just worst way possible, you know where to come and complain at because we jinxed them
Yep.
after last week. Yeah. Um, Unless you got anything to add, we're running out of time here. It's a great
Yeah.
show.
Go Lakers. Time to lock in tonight. Yeah, hopefully next week I'll be talking about how they're winning the series in the second round.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Running out of time here, but thank you guys all for watching. Go Sixers. Also, Packers take down Washington tonight. Uh, Thank you guys for watching. Leave any
Thank you.
comments, subscribe, anything you would like. Let us know what you want to hear about next week. Thank you all and have a great week.